Frauki's adventure features a cast of characters including a frog girl, a gorgeous goddess, and evil alien robots who have stolen the crystals of power. Sound bizarre? It is, but it's also filled with punishing Souls-like combat and a sprawling world to discover. Hey guys, it's Cody with Indie Game Pulse. If you want to find the newest and best indie games and hear genuine reviews from an indie game fanatic like yourself, click subscribe and the notification bell to make sure you don't miss another video. Frauki awakes in a temple near the goddess, who quickly sets the stage for us and sends us on our way to reclaim the 4 power crystals which were stolen by the alien robots. From this point on, you'll only check in with the goddess when you attain a crystal or when you die and respawn, which, trust me, this will happen a lot. Occasionally, she may provide a helpful hint for dealing with the enemy which just killed you, which is a nice touch, although after several deaths, I was pretty quick to just skip her text and get back to the action. Aside from the Power Crystal story, there are many characters scattered throughout the world that fill in some blanks as well, or are just there to add some flavor, like the cute gnomes you can find and chat with. They don't give you additional quests or anything like that, they just tell a little story or even just sing as they fish in the pond. They're cute and a nice touch to the sort of sterile environments. We'll get to the world building and gameplay in a second, but I am a bit confused by the story. I'm very close to beating the game and have yet to discover why Frauki is called the Frog Girl. She doesn't have any frog attributes other than jumping high, which is pretty normal in video games, and there really isn't any backstory into who the goddess is or why we are helping her. There are also some alien robots throughout the world that are NPCs, but there's nothing to distinguish them from their deadly counterparts other than the fact that they won't try to kill you. I wish there was some way to tell the difference between the good and bad bots. Overall, the story here is pretty bland, but it's serviceable for a budget game. Where the game shines most is in its world building and specifically in its map layout. For a Metroidvania, it's noticeably missing a world map, but the way the developer has built the world, I didn't find myself getting turned around more than once or twice, and I know that takes intention and work to build the map in such a way. Throughout your travels, you might find secret or hard-to-reach areas with little bonuses like additional max health or health recovery in the form of apples. You can also find shield upgrades to add to your health, and those regenerate in your health bar every 5 seconds or so. And you will need all the health and shields you can find because the combat is very punishing, especially early on when you only have 3 health bars. There are some enemies that deal 3 damage in one blow, so learning attack patterns is essential and you will die over and over. We'll come back to the combat in a second. Thankfully, once you advance deeper and further into the map, you'll discover some quick travel portals in the form of green apples, which can be activated with your energy sword. You'll find many NPCs, as I mentioned earlier, throughout the world, and you will also find little sparkling areas where, with the press of the up button on the D-pad, Frauki will say a line or two about what you're looking at. Whether it's mysterious mushrooms or a strange rose growing in a dark room, these small interactions to me added a lot of interest and lore to this strange world. Again, I'm still not sure what many of them mean, but they've definitely got my imagination running. To move around the map, you can double jump and grab ledges with the A button, roll under low barriers with the B button, and your roll also acts as a dodge to avoid attacks. Note that directions can only be chosen with the D-pad. There's no joystick support at the time of this review. Your attack is mapped to the X button as well, and there are different variations of it depending on your direction of movement or your jump. All buttons are hard mapped, as I mentioned, and they cannot be changed. The attack moves and animations felt impactful, and even on a missed hit, there was a slight moment of vulnerability where you can't really move or react. It did take me a bit of time to get used to this, as I often prefer faster combat systems, but I can appreciate the more thoughtful approach here as well. Most enemy encounters are unavoidable, and they must be killed before a gate will open, allowing you to pass. Naturally, as your health and knowledge of the game grows, the enemies and amount of them will gradually grow as well and continue to provide a challenge. There are some enemies that I died to probably 20 times before figuring them out, but for the most part, once you get it, you can handle them one-on-one, and then the game will start combining them together in different groups to make it more difficult. The combat is fun, and while I began progressing pretty quickly past normal enemies, I found after 4 hours that certain ones were still providing a good challenge. As far as the colorful pixel art style, for me it was pretty forgettable. The world features typical biomes, from wet swampy areas to an underwater section to a magical overland, but it fits the theme and style that the game is going for. There were a couple times that I stopped to admire the scenery in Frogland, but not as often as I would have liked. The enemy avatars are also pretty tough to distinguish at times, simply because they're all the same black and dark red colors. The pixelated avatars of each character as they speak actually did stand out to me as being well done, and helpful in feeling connected to the characters. The Chiptune soundtrack, on the other hand, is, in my opinion, very well done, and immediately when I opened the main menu, I was getting hints of old-school Final Fantasy soundtracks. It has very nice melodies and a variety of themes and instruments that serve to back the different world areas, although I did occasionally have problems with the soundtrack just stopping until I entered a new area. Contrary to the soundtrack, the sound effects are pretty harsh and repetitive, and I ended up turning them off after only a few minutes. There are very limited graphics and sound options in the game, meaning you can only turn the music and sound on or off. There's no variations in between, and there are really no graphical options either. I would have liked to see more options here, adjusting the volume, adjusting the graphical settings, but again, for a budget game, I think this is pretty acceptable. So the question is, should you play Frauki's Adventure? For the price of $4.99, I think you're getting a good value here. While you'll discover a strange world filled with bizarre inhabitants, just know you might end up with more questions than answers, but isn't that how a good adventure goes sometimes? The combat is fun and challenging, and the map is well built so you don't get lost even without a map. If you're looking for a quick, challenging Metroidvania experience, you should check this one out. That's gonna do it, guys. Thank you very much to my 663 subscribers for your support, and I look forward to getting to know more of you soon. For more top indie game countdowns and reviews, check out the videos on your screen now, and I'll see you on the other side.